Hi again, Mark here from Talkingbass. Now, how many of you out there have been playing a gig or been at a band practice and found that your bass sustain is a little lacking? Now, this is most commonly going to be apparent on slower songs with long held notes. You play the note, and by the end of the bar, it just feels like the bass has died away. Now, this is something that's more likely to happen to you in a band setting where there are other instruments playing around you. It doesn't take that much of a drop in the bass volume to fall away behind the music, and when this used to happen to me, I would play the note again to keep it going, just to keep that warmth in there. But really, I knew that the feel of the song required less notes. The held note was required for a reason. So, I've got a really simple tip for improving that held sustain without using any extra gadgets or pedals like compressors. All you have to do is turn your volume up and play lighter. So, the reason for this is really simple. When your average playing strength is quite hard, you'll get a very strong attack at the start of the note, as you hit it, but then it'll quickly decay to a lower sustain and release. Then, when you set your volume on stage, you'll be judging the loudness of the sound by the strongest part of that sound, which is the attack. This is especially true when playing a fairly upbeat song. If you're playing quite a few notes in there, like this, you'll be basing all your volume on the attack. The notes don't decay enough for you to worry about the longer, lesser volume in the sustain. You're just hearing that attack all the time. So it's fine to just judge, the volume by that average. But if we move on to a slow ballad with long held notes, if we play with a lot of strength and attack, we'll get that loud initial hit, but then it'll drop away and you'll find yourself hidden in the mix. All you need to do is raise the overall volume so that sustained note is higher, and then play lighter to avoid the initial peak. So you just get this higher sustained volume. So as an example, here we have a strong attack and then the drop off. So there we had it, and now it's down at that lower volume as it sustains. We still get a sustain, but it's just at a lower volume. Then if I boost up the volume a lot more but hit a lot lighter, we don't have the initial attack, we just have this long held note, okay? One other extra little tip that I should mention is that you can also decrease that initial attack even further by playing with the thumb away from the bridge. The thumb is less likely to have a hard callus on it like the fingers, and you can use more of the flesh on there to really soften that tone. Then moving away from the bridge and closer to the neck is going to give you a much looser string to play with, and again a much lighter tone. Here at the bridge we've got a tighter string and you've got more of that initial thump, but down here over the pickups, and up over the neck, it's just looser and it's a lot of a lighter tone, okay? So, just to get rid of that initial bump, come away from the bridge and maybe play with the thumb. Bear in mind, this tip isn't a one-size-fits-all, technique game changer. You'll probably want to hit harder for some tunes and nearer the bridge. In those cases, you'd have to set your volume accordingly. It all depends on the tone and the feel that you're going for. So that's my quick tip for today. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, and get on over to Talkingbass, where you'll find hundreds more lessons just like this one in the lesson map. It's all systemized for ease of navigation, and there's hundreds of lessons on every topic imaginable. Then, if you sign up for the totally free membership, you'll gain access to a ton of free practice resources and ebooks like the Scale Reference Manual. So, check out the link in the info below, and I'll see you next week.